Okay. Hey guys, I'm Lighty, and in this video, I want to talk about a investment thingy I did a while ago that still hasn't paid off, but it will one day. Me telling you this in no way fucks up my own plans. If you guys go and buy the item I'm talking about now in large quantities, which is basically impossible, it won't really cause me any problems. So that's why I'm doing this. Every fucking shekel must remain in my pocket. So the item in question is an alt art item that hasn't received a 3D art. Now, that's a bit of a complicated sentence. I understand that for those who aren't super familiar with Path or, familiar with a lot of the investing and trading in Path. So one thing I'm holding at the moment, you zoom out, is Edge of Madness. It's a shitty fucking Beyond unique that's basically worth nothing. But this is the alt art version, and I have a cosmetic on it, but this is what it looks like without it. It's a big sword, and it's got a cool little symbol on it. Before this thing didn't have a unique art, it was worthless, and when it did receive a 3D unique art, like an in-game art, its price skyrocketed. This thing used to be about 10 Exalted. It's a lot more than 10 Exalted, if you can even get one, to be honest. So let's just check out prices. There's 75. He'll actually sell it. For the most part, I know that person, and a lot of this has to do with you knowing the people you're selling to, but the price of this thing can go through the roof. Alt arts in general, the price of things go through the fucking roof. It's like a multi-tiered system to why alt arts from old race rewards, all those old bullshit, actually have value. And this is basically how it breaks down. You have an item in game that has a 2D art. The 2D art looks like this. That's great. It's a cool looking 2D art. Fan-fucking-tastic. Does the item come from a limited supply that you're never going to access again? No. This has been in the game. This is in the game. These race reward things were from one time, from 1 month pretty much, from like week 1 to week 2 of that month from years ago. That was the only way to get the item. Did they have an in-game art just like Acuities? No, they did not. It looks like a fucking potato strapped to your hand. It's a piece of dog shit. But here we are, and some of these 3D items that actually have cool looking arts are actually getting the 3D in-game art that their cool looking 2D art got. And what that does is that made the item value go up. Now, this was also amplified by the fact that we could skin transfer items. Whispering Ice is a piece of shit item at the moment. That being said, if I'm playing a build that uses a staff, I could skin transfer fucking things, and I could use the little skin transfer thing and make my shitty looking staff go on an actual good staff if I have one. This also applies to every other slot. Say I don't like how demigods whatever fucking thing works, and I want to wear my little happy hat. Well, I can put my little happy hat on, and now I got my little happy hat. And it'll still have the same stats as the item, but it retains the art, the 3D art, the unique 3D art receiving this item through a very specific race event over like 2 years ago. There's a limited supply of these things, and people stop playing, people vow things, people just lose things. Items have a finite supply. Their price goes through the roof when they get 3D art. That's what we're fucking talking about, people. That's what we're dealing with. So I did something. I've been doing it for a while, and that's investing in another item, and that's the alt art version of Vorix. Vorix is a kind of a trash unique, mostly used for sometimes leveling, sometimes early on Righteous Fire because it gives a lot of resistances, but overall it's not a great item. Now it has a race unique from Season 6, which is pretty early on. Season 6 occurred from this 1 month span in 2014, so it's a pretty limited time. It's just there's not a lot. I mean, things like the Void Battery are quite expensive, even stuff like the Andav, but it's a weapon and it's a sword, which means you could transmute it onto other like one-handed things. That's where it gains a lot of its value, is its potential to be transmuted and just kind of shown off. So Vorix itself, the alt art ones run, they're about 35 to 50x each. If you could purchase for them, sometimes you get them for cheaper. So the average price to purchase one is probably 40 to 45 Exalted. Now, I have some lent on different characters and different accounts, but I have a tab, an entire tab worth. So how much does a tab take up? Well, I have some of them sitting here, but I have all of them. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times. So I actually have 37, but let's just say I have 36 swords for argument count. So now I have 36 swords. I spent an average of, let's say, 40 Exalted on them. So I spent about 1,400, and they don't have a unique art at the moment. That's the whole point of why I did this, right? So they don't have a unique art, but eventually, eventually they'll get one. Look at that. That looks like a piece of shit. So whenever it does get a unique art, whenever it does look like this cool thing and maybe it has a glowing effect or, I don't know, something, it's very easily possible that they'll go to minimum 100, 150 Exalted each. Like, no problem there. So if I have, we'll say 36 of them, and now they're 150 Exalted each, I now made 5,400 Exalted. Take out the whatever 1,500 I spent. That's a 3,900 Exalted profit. That's pretty good. This is over the course of, let's say, a year. But it's a year of me not doing anything. I just logged on every night, and I searched for a half hour for people selling them, PM some people I know who deal with alt arts, etc. And that's pretty much how I got to where I am as far as having a tab full of them. Now, you could do this with other items. There's other uniques you can invest in that don't have arts at the moment. So the best way to do it is, I mean, most of it's solved. It's the Path of Exile, for example, it's just a solved game, especially the playing aspect of it, but even so the investment aspect of it. But, it's just one of those things where it's definitely a market you could still get into if you can grab them for 40, 50x. There's a definite possibility that when they go, 3D art, one day down the road, they will for sure just like triple. So that's all there is to it. That's all I pretty much want to say is this is what I have it in the works. It's in the motions. It's done. I've made my investments, so you can too if you want to. Join me on the profit train. But it's a slow investment. It's definitely not like a fast-selling thing. So you just kind of buy them and then sit on it forever. So if you don't play standard a lot, like me at the moment, I pretty much just use it for investing and fucking around. Why not just invest your money in alt arts and then just sit on them, and then 6 months, a year from now, a year and a half from now, they get 3D art. Boom, you just made a ton of currency. And if you don't know what has or doesn't have a 3D in-game art, like actual in-game visible art, you could cross-reference just like the Wikipedia looking at items. And there's this one forum thread. It's been around literally since 2013, but the guy does update it pretty frequently. It has a list of all the 3D unique arts. The one thing I will say is, at least when you're launching in Chrome, this thing lags like a motherfucker. So when you try to click show on swords, hey, we actually got them, it shows them, but this thing will like tank your RAM, and it shows which ones have unique art. So this is Vorex's unique art. We don't have any alt arts, unfortunately, because there is no alt art one hands for thrusting swords. If I clicked one hand swords and I keep going down, alternate artwork. That's how you know it doesn't have an alternate artwork. The Princess does have alternate artwork. Prismatic Eclipse does. Red Beak does. That's why those got so fucking expensive. Hopefully what's going to happen with Vorex. What to invest in, what to invest in. I wonder what the upper echelon of having these little meme tabs open I can be. What is that website called? Okay, I probably can't put this on YouTube. Fair enough. Fair enough. I know my limits. You got me. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about that. I invested a lot into Vorex's, and it's definitely possible I'll make about 5,000 Exalted off of it. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, or have any other alt art uniques you think are worth investing into, let me know. I'm Matt Lighty, and I'll see you guys next time. Later. Oh man, fucking Path isn't on the front page of player auctions. Oh, well, it kind of is. Buy new orbs for Delb. Alright, it's a real shame. Help? How can we help you? Where is P stored? Gotta get to the answer to this one day. They don't know. Fucking no one knows.